Van's eyes stuck on the television, looking at her favorite show with hearty eyes. Whoa, Return of Superman. He asked, propping himself down beside Van, and the girl naturally clung to his biceps, arm linking. She raised her legs to settle on Jungkook's lap, wiggling a little bit, trying to find a comfortable position. Look at the twins, Jungkook. They are cute like super, she said, smiling, and her plump lips curve even more whenever the twin does something. Jungkook's eyes now plunged deeper into Van content expression. He saw how her face was glowing seeing the toddlers on the big screen. Jungkook felt a harsh thought pulling his heart. As much as he wants a family in the future, he started to doubt himself. Will he able to? The promise he had given to Mr. Kim, he had working on it every day and night, keeping Van's smiling face in his mind whenever he started to doubt himself. But when Van tells him about all the men she had been on blind dates set up her by father, already successful in their life and had a stable life much more than can already afford to have a family, make Jungkook feel inferior. Van don't want to talk about it, but he asked because he wanted to know about the people her father is setting her up with. It's pretty frustrating for Jungkook to see his girlfriend going on date with different men, but at last he smiles knowing she'll be in his arms just the way right now, and when she is this close to him, it's clear his all doubts and insecurities. But sometimes he feels that he is taking advantage of her love, that she can have whatever she wants, even a beautiful family with those men. But she still chooses to stay with Jungkook. He loves Van so much that he can do anything for her except letting her feel like she is hiding, neglecting her wishes and desires from Jungkook just because they can't, not right now for them. He knows that Van loves kids a lot, but she doesn't talk in front of him as much, understanding the situation, and it makes him feel sad when she stops herself like this. It made him feel like that he is stopping her from having all her happiness. Nuzzling his nose into Van's cheeks and hand-stroking the girl's arm, Jungkook gathered the courage to ask, "Do you like kids?" He saw it again, how Van's smile answered everything, that lips curling up, her cheeks muscle to move along, forcing the girl's eyes to close. Playing with Jungkook's finger, then she turns to look at him in the eyes. "I always like kids." Jungkook waited for Van to complete her sentence, knowing this is not the end. He draws a small circle on her hands, encouraging her to spill out her heart. "I want to with you, but looking at everywhere except Jungkook. But we cannot right now." He completed her sentence and the air around them goes on me real quick because of the fact Jungkook don't want Van to get pregnant in this state where nothing is clear between them. They got lot of things to settle between to firm up their relationship. Van let out a hefty sigh. "Right now we can't," she sadly repeated after him lifting his fingers, grasping it, just randomly tracing the patterns on his palm so she can get the problem out of her head. "Love," hiccups Van chin gently tilted upward to meet her eyes. "We'll talk about it once," he breathed out. "Once I complete my studies at Seoul, okay? We cannot right now." "I understand, Ku. I completely understand what you mean." Gasping his hand, holding both of them firmly. "I know we cannot, not now." A chaste kiss landed on Van's lips so sudden. She eyes flutter once Jungkook pulls away. She saw the widest smile on his face. "Then let's have kids in future. I always want a family to call mine." He leaned in again, pestering with his kisses. Van smiles in return. Her very freaking adorable smile and those chocolate brown eyes is always the reason Jungkook able to carry the heavy weight of their relationship. "Then let's have lot of kids," she said, spreading her arm in excitement, like lot of them. "Oh, nope." He quickly shook his head. "Only one boy and a girl." "Oh, why? I want to have many kids with you." She went crossing her arms over her chest with a pout sitting on his lap. "Nope, only two." He shook his head, this time firmly. "I don't want to trouble you much, love. I know how much it gives pain, and I can't see you in pain." Van's eyes softened at Jungkook's remark as she turned around and hugged him tightly. Jungkook. Alone tear escaped from his eyes as he dreamed about his past. "Jungkook." Jungkook grunts, eyeing the girl still in half-sleeping state, peeking through his one eye. What is this, Jungkook? She asked, covering her nose with her hands, seeing the remains of the several burnt cigarettes on the floor as she moved to open the window, letting sun rays and fresh air to enter the dark room. Sohee, please don't disturb me, he mumbled, covering his eyes with the blanket. Do you even know what's the time, Jungkook? She asked, snatching the blanket from him as he covered his head with the pillow because of sunlight. Mark calling you non-stop, but you didn't pick up his call, so he called me. Do you forget about your important meeting with Mr. Park today? I didn't. I'm not feeling well. Tell him to reschedule it. He says nonchalantly, which provokes Sohee even more as she pulled his leg and he shouts, getting annoyed. Yeah, stop it, Han Sohee. She let out his leg as if fully awake, glaring at her sitting on the edge of the bed. But she cared less as she looks back at him with questioning eyes, crossing his hands over her chest. Are you going to tell me what happened now, huh? Why all these? As far as I know, you were happy few days ago. She tilted her head at the side. Why moping now? Do I have to tell you? Yes, because I'm your psychiatrist and I want to know what's the thing provoke you into that. Again, as far as I know, you were doing quite good at controlling this habit of yours. Her expression turned serious. Is it because of her again? Did something happen, Jungkook? She asked softly, this time sitting beside him, but he got up suddenly, running towards the bathroom. So he heard the sound of vomiting as she sat looking around the room to find the culprit, and there's the bottle of alcohol kept at the corner of the room. Cigarettes plus alcohol. Need to take a serious session this time. What kind of behavior is this? Why are you destroying yourself, Jungkook? I told you before that you can't force her to take you back. Please respect her decision. Isn't it better at least she let you meet your son? It's been a week last time Jungkook had saw Ryan after she had broke his heart and want nothing between them, but Jungsu know about his father now. So they decided that they'll equally share responsibility of Jungsu because she isn't ready to take Jungkook back, and that's what's the reason of his sufferings. I'm not forcing her. I was just trying to tell her what I was feeling and that I still love her, Sohee. You better know than anyone else that I had never wanted anyone but her. All these years I spent away from her, only thinking about her. There was not a day I didn't pray for her to see her one more time before I die. And when I saw her after years, I took a deep breath. I just couldn't able to control myself in front of her. But I deserve it, didn't I? After all, I left her. A bitter chuckle left from his mouth on his own condition. So he sighed, looking at Jungkook's face, who was staring at nothing solacely as she moved to give him a glass of water. But before he could able to take the glass, it dropped from her hands mistakenly on his lap, wetting his clothes. I'm sorry, Jungkook, let me clean it, she said as she moved to pick the shards of the broken glass. It's okay, Sohee, let the maid clean it. No, it's my fault, wait, she said as she picks all the shards, placing it on the table. Let it be, Sohee. What are you doing? He asked, confused, seeing Sohee trying to fix the broken glass with the help of a tape. Here, she says as she refilled the glass again, but the water leaked through the cracks. I can't understand what are you trying to do, Sohee. Just use the new glass. It's already broken, can't be fixed. That's right, it's already broken, can't be fixed, or more precisely, she is already broken. She smiled, looking at Jungkook's confused face. I'm talking about Wine, Jungkook. His face turned from confused to surprised. Don't you think wine is like this glass? I mean, you had broken her once. No matter how much water you try to fill in it, it's always leaked through the cracks. Just say it clearly, Sohee. She stand in front of him. I just want to say that you had broken her trust once, Jungkook, so no matter how much you try to show your real feelings to her or ask for forgiveness, it's not gonna repair what's already damaged by you. So what should I do? Nothing, she said casually. Just give her some space and time to heal. If you are overwhelmed to see her after years, so does she. And I don't think she'll gonna trust you easily. You have to win it back. You have to earn her trust again. So rather than moping around like a kid, act like an adult and be responsible for your actions, Jungkook. I understand very well, Sohee, and I respect her decision. I'm not forcing her either, but it just, he looks down. I can't control myself whenever she's around me. It's hard to live like we are nothing when she is everything to me, acting like strangers when I can't stop myself from thinking about her. Jungkook, not as your doctor, but as a friend giving you advice, so please listen carefully. You have a son to look after now. You understand what I am saying? I know it's hard for you, but I hope you consider about Jungsu and be civil with your ex, because that's the only choice you have for now. Handsome stranger, he shouted excitedly, seeing Jungkook and ran towards him. Jungkook smiled, seeing Jungsu as he crossed down to the level of his son to hug him properly. Be careful. Jungkook looks at Wine in her purple scrub. She maybe was busy with her schedule, that's why she can't stay with Jungsu for today. But his heart buzzed with some vibration, seeing Wine in her work clothes. Amma, please, you also come with us. It'll be really fun, he asked, turning back to look at his mother. No baby, Mama had work to do. You enjoy your day with your dada, okay? Jungkook came to pick Jungsu as he had holiday and he wanted to spend it with his father because he has been missing his dad, so Wine let Jungkook take Jungsu with him for a day, only because she also can't stay away from Jungsu for too much time. But seeing her son's gloomy face, she decided it won't be bad to let him spend some time with Jungkook. It's not first time Jungsu is staying away from her, because when she had to work late night at hospital and her mother had to take care of Jungsu many times anyways. Hey, he greets fans smiling, and she nodded back with tight lips. The wall they had put up in front of each other, it's really feel like they are strangers now. Please take care of him. He sometimes get too excited and forgot about his surroundings, she says as she gives him Jungsu's bag. Don't worry, I'll take care of him, ruffling Jungsu's hair affectionately. Jungkook and Jungsu stroll through the mall, hand in hand, as Jungkook decided that he'll let his son feel special today, so he bought him to enjoy his day off. Excitement sparkled in Jungsu's eyes as they both tried identical clothes and bodyguards left around the shopping bag. They stopped at arcade playing many other games until Jungsu's eyes stopped at a claw machine. Handsome stranger, I want that bunny plushie, he says, jumping, pointing at Pink Bunny with the several other toys. Jungkook, always eager to fulfill his son's wishes, nodded with determination. He inserted coin into the machine, focusing intently to maneuvering the claw. Despite the several attempts, the elusive bunny remained just out of reach. Let's buy a new one from the store, Jungsu. It will be easier. But Jungsu displayed the admirable stubbornness, shaking his head, clutching his father's hand. No, Dada, I want that one. What did you say? Looking at Jungsu with his eyes widened as the little boy blinks at him innocently. Jungkook had talked with Jungsu on the phone several times since he got introduced to him as his father, but the little boy always called him handsome stranger. This is the first time he had called Jungkook Dada. Jungkook was basically on the cloud 9 after he heard the word from Jungsu's lip as he stared at him with the misty eyes. I want that one, Dada, not from the toy store, please. Oh boy, you don't have to see it again, as Jungkook looks earnestly at his target, like a predator watching his prey. And this time he got it. Jungkook proudly presented the fluffy prize to Jungsu, as his face lit up with pure joy, and Jungsu jumped into his father's arm, hugging the bunny tightly. Dada, why can't be like that too? He asked as Jungkook trying to wipe the extra sauce from his face with the help of napkin. Like what? Jungkook looked at the direction Jungsu was staring at a happy family nearby, then looks back at his dad. Like a happy family, even Jimmy parents stay together, but why Dada won't stay with us? Dada don't love my mama. Jungkook hesitated, caught off guard by the unexpected question. It's not like that, baby. I love your mama and your mama loves me too. He stopped trying to find the right words. Well, buddy, sometimes things don't work out the way we want them to. But why Dada and mommy loves each other, right? We did love each other, Jungsu, but sometimes adults make mistakes or don't understand each other. Mistakes? What mistakes, Dada? Sometimes people make decisions without knowing all the facts. I didn't know about you when I left to Seoul. You didn't know about me? Jungkook notes, guilt evident on his face. That's right. But now that I know, I want to be part of your life, even if mommy and I aren't together. Jungsu looked on, processing the information. But why can't we be a happy family, Dada? Jungkook struggles for words, torn between explaining and protecting his son. Sometimes even when people love each other, it's better for them to be apart. Mommy and I are still figuring out things, but I promise to be here for you, Jungsu. Jungsu looked up at his dad, searching for reassurance. Can't you talk with Mommy and fix things? We are trying, buddy. It's not that simple, but I always do my best for you. Jungkook entered the apartment as he carries the tired Jungsu in his arms, who was nestled in his embrace, almost dodging off to sleep. He stepped into the living room. His gaze fell upon the unexpected sight of shirtless Jinyoung stood with Van holding his shirt. A flicker of hurt crossed Jungkook's eyes. Van's eyes widened as she glanced at Jungkook's direction, who was looking at them with the cold eyes, as if he misunderstood the whole situation. It's not like that what you're thinking, Jungkook. She quickly tried to explain, and Jinyoung took the shirt, wearing it quickly. Jungkook, however, cut her off, saying, "You don't have to explain me anything, Van," he says, coldly glaring at Jinyoung. "Boss, where I should place these?" the man asked as he carrying the shopping bags in his hands, and Jungkook motioned towards the living room table. Jungsu awoken by the commotion as he cutely rubbed his eyes trying to focus on the vision, and when he saw his mother, he jumps from Jungkook's hug, running toward his mom. Van enveloped him in her embrace. "Did you have fun, sweetheart?" "Yes, Mommy, we played so many games at arcade," and his eyes shining, telling about everything he did whole day. "And Dada even won the bunny plushie for me, you know." Van looks at Jungkook, who was busy glaring at Jinyoung, and later doing the same, as there is some tension between them. "Really? Looks like you enjoyed your day, huh?" He nodded eagerly, and she suggested he should change his clothes since he looks tired. However, Jungsu's attention shifted to Jinyoung, shouting as he hugs Jinyoung's leg. "Jinyoung, Daddy here too. Can you please complete your story from the last time?" "Jungsu, you have school tomorrow, so you have to sleep early." Jungsu pouted, showing his hearty eyes to the doctor as Jinyoung chuckled. "It's okay, Van. Let me complete the story. It won't take that much time," he says, picking Jungsu in his embrace. Jungkook felt a pang of jealousy seeing the closeness of the two of them, but Jinyoung is the person who had taken care of Jungsu since he born, so it's natural for him to be more comfortable with Jinyoung, but he felt like he was third wheeling there, so he bid them goodbye. However, Jungsu held on to Jungkook's hand, refusing to let him leave, insisting that he should stay with them tonight. Jungkook stood on the balcony, his phone pressed against his ear as Mark, his secretary, briefed him on the rescheduled meeting with Mr. Park. He absent-mindedly brought a cigarette on his lips, the tip glowing with each drag. "Boss, the meeting with Mr. Park has been rescheduled for tomorrow at 4 p.m. Jungkook nodded, exhaling a puff of smoke. "Alright, Mark, I'll handle it. Just get ready the important documents." Vine entered the balcony, noticing someone standing outside at this chilled weather. She frowned as she caught the scent of smoke, the cigarette in Jungkook's hand. "I'll talk to you later, Mark." "You smoke?" she asked, surprised, her disapproval evident in Jungkook's head. "It's just a habit." Jungkook threw the half-burnt stick because the ice throwing daggers at the side of his head, and him ashamed being caught smoking as he tried to avoid her eyes. There was a brief silence between them for a while before he heard a loud exhale beside him. Today at living room, she hesitated a bit. I was just trying to help Jinyoung, as I mistakenly spilled water on his shirt. So it's nothing like that, whatever you're thinking." She had noticed the little tension between Jungkook and Jinyoung. They were having a war through their eyes. She doesn't know why she even trying to explain it to Jungkook, but she doesn't want him to misunderstand her. "I'm not thinking anything, Ryan. You don't have to explain me everything. We aren't together, remember?" he says, smiling, hiding the pain. Seeing the casual expression on his face, she felt angry on herself for showing her emotion in front of him so easily. "Right, I don't owe you anything." She eyes the pack of cigarettes Jungkook had in his pants as she says, "You should quit this. You know my dad died from smoking related issues, and I don't want that for you." "Why do you care?" He doesn't know why she's acting like that. It's making things worse between them. He is making distance between them, but her showing the affection made him feel like they are still together. "Just because we aren't together, that doesn't mean I don't care about you anymore, Ko. An edge of anger crept into her voice. Stop smoking. I don't want to see you destroy yourself. Jungkook chuckled sadly at her remarks. You want me to quit smoking only because of your dad? Yes, I don't want to see anyone suffer like my dad did, not even you. Mine turned away, heading towards her room. Stop smoking, Jungkook. It's not worth it. Jungkook, heart racing badly, so heavy, so damaged. He is already suffering, and the only medicine he ever wanted is her. Why being like this when you are not coming back to me, Ryan? He whispered to himself as he grabbed the pack of cigarettes from his pocket and threw it to the nearest bin. What's this mess, Jungkook? He asked as he saw all the beer bottles and pack of cigarettes on the floor. What's happening, huh? Mr. Jian asked to Sohee, who was sitting on the couch, crossing her hands with an offended look on her face. And she snapped as soon as Mr. Jian asked her the question. Can you believe, Uncle, your so-called obedient son who didn't even listen to my babbling for years about how all these are injurious for his health, and now, she pointed at him, this is ready to leave all of this just because she said him to quit smoking? Just great. Huh? But that's supposed to be mean. I mean, I'm happy, but I felt offended. It hurts. It hurts, Jungkook. Do you even listening to me? I was telling you from past 3 years. And look at this shameless creature ignoring me now. Thomas. Yes, sir. Clear this all mess before I'll be back in evening. I don't want to see this here. The servant nodded as Jungkook eyed Sohee and his father before he moved to upstairs getting ready for his important meeting. I swear I'm gonna ignore you the same way you did to me when you crawled back to me, you sir. Stop swearing in the morning. You'll forget about it anyways, Uncle. Thomas, wait, those are mine, he says, grabbing the box of green surgic bottles. Now I need to hide that from Jungkook. Let me help you so we can share. I can even remember where it kept, Uncle. You might forget it. Huh? I won't forget, and I don't want to share it with anyone. See, I'm trying to help you, Uncle. We'll hide it together because you might forget it like you forget you had Alzheimer. I have Alzheimer? See, forget it now. Let me help you. She smirked evilly. Those are going to be mine at last, she mumbled to herself. You said something, dear? No, Uncle. Let's hide it before he comes back, she says, lifting the box. Anything for Soju. How everything going, Ryan? I heard that Jungsu and Jungkook getting pretty well together, she says, sitting beside her daughter. Yes, since Jungsu knew about Jungkook, he always eager to meet him and they are getting along with each other. Did you think about what you're gonna do now? I mean, what you have decided, Ryan? I had decided that we'll take care of Jungsu by sharing our responsibilities. After all, I don't want to keep my son away from his father. Mr. Kim studied her daughter for a moment before asking a more probing question. That's good to hear, but sweetheart, I have been thinking, are you really content living your life all alone? Mom, I'm not alone. I have Jungsu beside me, so I don't need anyone. Of course, Jungsu is a joy, but you can't spend your entire life solely for him. Don't you want someone by your side? Mrs. Kim, not easily convinced, continued to express her worry. Mom, I appreciate your concern, but I have found my fulfillment in being a mom. Jungsu is all I need. Mrs. Kim sighed, realizing the difficulty of changing her daughter's mind. I just want you to be happy, Ryan, and I worry that you might miss out on other aspects of life. Mom, my happiness lies in raising Jungsu. I have made my choice, and I am content with it. Kim might fall still worry and thought she respected her daughter's decision, but she remembers her husband's words before he died. Mrs. Kim rushes inside the hospital room when doctor told them about her husband's condition as he keeps calling her name as if he wanted to tell her something important. Yebo. Darling, I had made a huge mistake, he replied through uneven breaths. Before I die. Why are you saying it like Yebo? You're going to be alright. He shook his head, seeing tear in his wife's eyes, but he also knew that his time had come and couldn't do anything about it as he held his wife's hand looking at him desperate. Jungkook and Van, please make them together, please, he says, having trouble at breathing as Mrs. Kim presses the emergency button to call doctor. And that was the last time she saw her husband, as after a few days Mr. Kim left the world. Mrs. Kim's eyes flickered as she came out of her reverie. Van, I wanted to show him a medical report. It just came out today. Can you please grab them for me from the study room? Van looks at her mother worriedly, then noted heading upstairs. Van searched through her father's study, shifting through the drawers and shelves in pursuit for her mother's medical reports. In the final attempt, she opened the cupboard, discovering the desired documents. However, another set of papers followed, revealing a file named Jungkook. Confusion and shock registered on her face. Jungkook's scholarship papers? What are these doing here? Her mind raced with questions, attempting to decipher the unexpected connection between her father and Jungkook. Van was in utter shock, her eyes glazed over in an instant as she took the support of the desk behind, now connecting all the thoughts with each other. How her father had always disliked Jungkook and had forced her to date with another person. Jungkook and Van's relationship started deteriorate since he moved to Seoul, but on the top of that, her father was forcing her to be with someone else. It all makes sense now. Van. Her mother appeared at the doorway, observing her daughter with an inscrutable expression. Van, feeling a mix of anger and confusion, confronted her. So you knew, didn't you? She asked in disbelief as one tear dropped from her eyes and another followed. Her mother, seeing the tension, tried to soothe the situation, realizing need for an explanation. Van, calm down. There's more than this you think. Was there supposed to be more than that? She screamed as rage flew over her body. She got betrayed by Jungkook and now her parents too. It's hard for her to believe on anyone at this point now. Listen dear. Mr. Kim was so scared to find her daughter laying unconscious in her room's floor. They had to rush her to the hospital as soon as possible. Since Jungkook had left her, she has been living a life like she has mourning for someone and stopped eating food, crying in the bathroom as if her father didn't listen. All of that. He never knew that how deeply her daughter got attached to the person that will impact her this badly after Jungkook left her. Doctor, how is my daughter's condition? Is she alright? He asked worriedly, seeing her daughter's soulless face. Mr. Kim, I would like to talk to you in alone, he says with an unreadable expression on his face and her fears that start to grow inside Mr. Kim. What do you want to talk about, doctor? My daughter is alright, he asks anxiously as doctor looks down. Tell me please. Your daughter, she is pregnant. Mr. Kim was so devastated as he heard the news. He couldn't able to decipher what's gonna happen now. But one thing he knew, that he had made her daughter's life a living hell, and he doesn't know how to rectify his mistakes. He was about to fall, but the doctor held him in a place. Tell me, Amma, you were fooling with me too with that, she asked as her voice broke at the end. Let's talk about it, Van. Wait. Mr. Kim's attempt to calm her daughter, sensing her anger, but Van, overwhelmed by the realization, stormed out, leaving her mother behind. It was a pleasure to meet you and work with you. I hope we could grow together, he said, shaking hands with Mr. Park as they came out of the conference room. Wait, I'm excited to work with you too, young man. I know your potential. See you in the Seoul then. They part ways after bidding goodbye to each other. Jungkook fished out his phone. He got panicked to see Mrs. Kim's several missed calls. He couldn't able to pick up the calls because it was on silent mode. What happened, Imonim? Is Jungsu alright? Jungkook, thank goodness you answered. Why? She says with a shaky breath. Why? What happened to Wine, Imonim? His heart started to beating fast in concern. She ran away from the home, Jungkook, and not picking up anyone's call. I'm so worried about her. It's been hours and it's already so late snowing outside. Did something happen? I'll tell you everything, Jungkook, but please find her. I'm really worried about my daughter. He took a deep breath to calm his mind. Okay, don't worry, Monim. I'll find her and will inform you, but please don't worry. She might be just here, okay? Jungkook dashes out of the office building, dialing Wine's number repeatedly as he heads towards his car. Wine, please pick up the call. Where are you? He reaches the parking lot, breaking into a sprint towards his car. His anxiety grows as each call goes unanswered. Jungkook heads towards his car, heart pounding. Come on, Wine, pick up the call. I need to make sure you're okay. His phone remains silent. Desperation consumes him as he continues calling and searching for any sign of Wine.